Hello sir, good day. My name is Muhammad Lemon Shipi Ammar from Group 4. My topic is the community organization. So in this topic, we're going to talk about its definition and more on. So let's start. What is community organization? Community organization is the process by which people organize themselves to take charge of their situation and thus develop a sense of being a community together. It is particularly effective tool for the poor and powerless as they determine for themselves the actions they will take to deal with the essential forces that are destroying their community and consequently causing them to be powerless. Community organization is the mechanism through which individuals come together to take responsibility for their situations and thus foster a sense of community involvement. It is a very useful tool for the poor and powerless when they decide for themselves what the steps they will take to deal with the fundamental causes destroying their community and rendering them helpless as a result. Community organizing is a method of engaging and empowering people in order to increase the influence of historically underrepresented groups in policies and decisions that affect their lives. Community organizing is a strategy for long-term engagement and empowerment as well as a tactic for addressing specific problems and issues. Long-term goals of community organizing include developing internal capabilities and increasing underrepresented groups' decision-making power and influence. Community organizing is frequently employed in low-income and minority neighborhoods and is a place-based activity. It is also utilized by community of individuals with shared interests such as new immigrant groups who have little access to and power over decisions that have an impact on their daily life. Based on my gathered research from Britannica.com, in community organizing, members of communities are organized to act collectively on their shared interests. Saul Alinsky is commonly recognized as the founder of community organizing. Alinsky emerged as a community organizer in the second half of the 1930s. His thinking about organizing was strongly influenced by militant labor movement in the United States emerging that time. Alinsky's approach emphasized democratic decision-making, the development of indigenous leadership, the support of traditional community leaders, addressing people's interests, use of conflict strategies, and fight for specific and concrete results. In the late 1960s and 1970s, many liberals and liberal-leaning foundation embraced this method of community organizing as an alternative to the radical activism and rebellion occurring at that time in the United States of America. That's all. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned from this video. And
goal of community organizing is to unite the community in identifying and addressing its needs. It also fulfills other distinct functions, such as motivating community members to be aware of their surroundings and circumstances. Community organizing is to, or CO, is a continuous process that involves educating the people about their critical awareness of their current conditions, coordinating individuals to solve challenges cooperatively and effectively, encouraging people to increase their capacity and preparedness to respond to and take appropriate action in response to their present requirements in order to address their long-term issues. Collectively, the definitions listed above imply that community organizing, or CEO, is both a method and a process, as it viewed as a forward progression from one condition to another. CO is a process because it involves a dynamically conscious and purposeful effort to bring about social change. It is also seen as a method.
Hi sir, and good evening, and my name is Zara Ipuyo. So this is our topic, a brief history, community organization in the Philippine city. Throughout the Philippines, ecumenical concept for community organization (PICO). Community organization was introduced in the Philippines. During the first quarter of the 17th, the group organization communities in the Todo area where the program Zone 1 to do Suzuto was born. The program was replaced in other parts of the Philippines, including the rural areas, and was usually introduced through the structure. Organization effort continue event when the martial law was declared. During this time, community workers began pushing for people's participation in community. Community workers began pushing for people's participation in community organization became total. For achievement, these international development groups and government both began to support and found community organization. Organization program community organization became to proliferate. August 8 al. 2019, page 66. Thank you. So this is a short answer. Community organization. The short answer is that they get people to work together to solve their problems and change the world of the better. The learn some like this.
Good morning, sir. Goals of community organizing. Community organizing transform a complement community to become self-propelling and self-nourishing. Community organizing is important because through this, people work together in an organized manner and become more effective when social change takes place. But what basically is community organizing is for? Read on to learn different goals, purpose, why this method is still being widely used in different parts of our country and the whole world. People empowerment, improving the quality of life, leadership development and mobilization, and social transformation. A core goal of community organizing is to generate durable power for an organization representing the community, allowing it to influence key decision makers on the range of issues over time. In the ideal, for example, this can get community organizing groups a place at the table before important decisions are made. What are the goals of community organizing? Anyone? Classmates? Okay. The 4 goals of community organizing are community organizing, development, service delivery, and advocacy. Community organizing is characterized by the mobilizing of volunteers. Staff rules are limited to helping volunteers become effective, to guiding the learning of leaders through the process, and to helping create the mechanism for the group to advocate on their own behalf. Community organizing almost always includes confrontation of some sort. People who want something get themselves together to ask for it. Often the people who could give them what they want to get jumpy. Community organizing strategies includes meeting with corporate or government decision makers to hold them accountable for their actions, designing programs for others, to implement the meet the needs of the community, and aggressive group action to block negative development or behaviors. Development is a strategy that gets the group directly into business of delivery of physical product. Generally, groups select a development strategy because the normal course of event is not meeting the area's needs. The profit motives either does not bring private developers into the area, they can't make enough money, or it brings them into do the wrong thing. They are converting moderate cost rental units into yumpy condos. Development could mean housing or commercial or even industrial development. Development method requires, like the other two strategies, particularly skills. Many groups have struggled to achieve good results in housing development with staff whose training experience, the interest, and in community organizing, causing pain and suffering for the group that and staff. If we understand the distinction between the strategy, we can use the different resources needed for methods that fits within them. Advocacy and service delivery are both characterized by doing for people. Often professionals like lawyers or social workers will attack a problem on behalf of those perceived as unable to speak for themselves. Job referral service, social work, training for job readiness, home ownership, counseling, business plan preparation, training. These are methods which fits into the advocacy or service delivery strategy.
Community organizing refers to the process of bringing people together to address common concern and work toward solution. It involves identifying and mobilizing individuals in groups to take collective action and effect change in their communities. Here are some guiding principles of community organizing. Empowerment. Community organizing aims to empower individuals in communities to take control of their lives and work together towards common goals. This involves building people's skills and confidence and enabling them participate fully in the decision-making process that affect their lives. Participatory democracy. Community organizing emphasizes the importance of participatory democracy, which means that everyone should have a say in decisions that affect them. This involves creating space for people to come together, share their experience, and engage in dialogue and debate. Collective action. Community organizing involves bringing people together to take collective action towards common goals. This can include organizing protests, rallies, or marches, as well as engaging in other forms of direct action. Solidarity. Community organizing emphasizes the importance of solidarity and collective support. This involves building relationships and network of trust among individual groups and working together to overcome common challenges.
Good morning, sir. This is my report, Guiding Principles of Community Organizing. Grassroots leadership is a term used to describe leadership that emerge from within a community rather than being imposed from above. It is characterized by its bottom-up approach, with leaders emerging from the grassroots level based on their knowledge, skills, and experience within the community. And also grassroots leadership is important because it empowers individuals and communities to take control of their own destinies and make meaningful change from within. It has been instrumental in social movements and community development projects around the world. Diversity and inclusion are vital in creating an equitable and just society. Encouraging diversity means recognizing and embracing differences among people and creating an environment where everyone feels welcome and valued. Accountability is that act of taking responsibility for one's action and decisions. It is essential element in person and professional life because it affects relationship, trust, and integrity.
The community section collects information about the community that will benefit from the proposed mitigation activity. First, you need to coordinate to our barangay officials like barangay captains and LGU of your target area. Integration. It is important to identify the communities which need the services and project and its resources, can provide observation, use of government records and existing studies. The tour of potential sites are probably the best information gathering techniques. For example, in my barangay, most of the people are no read, no write, and many of us analysis. We need to make a way to educate us and to help us to make money to sustain our daily needs. Course of action. As a course of action, I need to coordinate with the top leaders who can help the barangay to provide them with pre-education so that they can at least learn to read and write. So if they overlook for a job, someone will accept them. They should not be ignorant, and so an action against them in future. Poverty will set up cooperation in our area so that they can earn something like making chips or whatever else they can earn. Implementation. As an implementation, all people who cannot read and write need to attend a pre-education class at least 1 hour a day. And to help their daily needs, I will make a request to higher up leaders to be able to donate to them, such as food or any other important needs.
My classmate about the community organizing process. The course of action. The principle of action in organizing, engagement, and equity refers to the importance of making progress and accomplishing something of value to the community. Next is implementation. Turns theory and ideas into action, translating a mission into an effectively operating program. At this stage, organization and citizens mobilize and involve in the planning of a sequential set of activities aimed at accomplishing campaign activities. And the last one is monitoring and evaluation. Participatory monitoring and evaluation seeks to increase community's participation in the development process by including community members in the collection and some use of data about project implementation. That's all. Thank you.
Steps in community organizing. The first steps is entry into the community. The purpose is to introduce the COs, local officials, and to inform the local authorities on the project, its objectives, and the nature of the COs stay in the community. And the component activities, adapting lifestyle in keeping with the community, choosing an appropriate place or family to stay with. Entry is a process of initiating, nurturing, and sustaining a desirable relationship with the community to secure and sustain the community's interest. It helps to gain support from the community leaders, establishing a good working relationship in all aspects of a program. The second step is integration of the people. The purpose is to imbibe community life and get to know the culture, economy, leadership, history, and lifestyle of the people. Number 2, to establish rapport with the people and build mutual trust and cooperation, and to allow the COs to be the one with the people and learn or understand people's problem. And component activities, participation of COs in economics activities, household works, group discussion, and social function. Integration is the process by which immigrants become accepted in society, both as individuals and as groups. This definition of integration is deliberately left open because the particular requirements for acceptance by a receiving society vary greatly from country to country. The third step is social investigation. The purpose is to systematically acquire information and analyze the political and socio-cultural structure of the community. To identify issues around which to organize the people. And the component activities is to gather and reviewing secondary data sources such as records and documents, holding personal interviews, conducting a survey, observing people and their environment, participative and non-participative. Social investigation is the process of systematically looking for issues around which to organize the people. There are 3 ways to conduct the social investigation, namely study the documents, reports that talk of the people's problems, learn from the people themselves. The fourth step is problem identification and analysis. The purpose is to identify, analyze, and rank the problems and needs. The component activities is the identification of the scope and degree of the problem, investigation of past efforts to solve the problem. Problem identification is a fundamental way of identifying the problem at hand so that we can comprehend the object that we are trying to achieve or the issue we are trying to address. Problem identification allows us to go to the source of the issue, learn how it affects us or others, and develop a viable solution.
Step 5 is planning and strategizing. The purpose is to translate goals and objectives into specific activities to solve community problem. The core of activities is to identify the problem, identifying resources, formulation of possible solution, and setting plans and action. Step number 6 is core groups formulation to form a small group potential leaders to assist CEOs in organizing and mobilizing the community. First is identification of contacts and political leaders in community. Second is conduct of training in leadership and organizing with the core group member as a participant. Step 7 is organization development and mobilization. To facilitate wide participation and collectively action on issues and problems concerning the community. The core of this step is to setting up a formal organization structure, mobilization of community effort of action to solve community problems. Step number 8 is to evaluate and reflection. The purpose of this step is to review the course of action that has been undertaken to solve community problems. The core of activity is holding workshop, dialogues, and etc. The last step is to turn over and phase out. To transfer the CEO's role to responsibilities to the organization as soon as the latter is ready or fully prepared to handle the responsibilities. The core of activities of this last step is to the CEOs may shift to a supportive role in monitoring and consultation and evaluation.